Hi guys, welcome back to W18, the Watford fan channel, for another episode of the Watford FC transfer news. Big one today, with Abdoulaye Doucouré coming out and speaking to French press once again, talking about his future, the potential interest from other clubs, and he seems to be fishing for a move out of Watford Football Club, so we'll get onto that in a moment. I've just about recovered from Palace away. What a fantastic day it was. Just about to get my words out. It was a fantastic day to mark Graham Taylor's 2-year anniversary since he sadly passed away. With that comeback, really epitomised everything he stood for. The ambition, the drive, the character to come back against Crystal Palace and really put in that performance, and for Tom Cleverley to get it as well. What a finish it was. And Watford move up on to 32.7th in the league. Happy days, and we'll have to look out for the result tonight between Manchester City and Wolves, who are also potential 7th Europa League spot challengers. Anyway, enough of the on-the-pitch action. Let's move on to off the pitch. And as you can see in the title, Abdoulaye Doucouré has stated that I think he is going to leave to Watford. Now, he was speaking to Canal Football Club, which is a French television sports channel, ahead of the Ligue 1 match between Marseille and Monaco. Effectively as a pundit, you know, if you look at Sky Sports, it was a similar thing, just a French equivalent. A pre-match, they had a little bit of discussion, and Abdoulaye obviously was on the panel, and he was always going to ask it because they've invited him on. He's probably agreed to ask about his future. He had no hesitations to really go through with what he was going to say. So he was asked a question about his future. He went on to say, now there's quite a few quotes here, so I'll go through it all just to give you a flavour of what it is about. But this is now twice in a week that he's been on French television speaking about his future, which I'm not a massive fan of, if I'm honest. I've no issues with Abdoulaye wanting to move, but to keep speaking about it so openly, I'm not a massive fan of. Anyway, I'll move on to that. Here's the quotes, the exact quotes. It's gone pretty much nationwide on Sky Sports, the Sunday Express, the Guardian. Everyone's covering it at the moment. Abdoulaye Doucouré. It's on Transfer Centre as well on Sky Sports. He spoke to Canal as the pundit on ahead of the Ligue 1 game between Marseille and Monaco, and he said, when asked about his future, I think I'm going to leave Watford. The club know my ambitions and want to help me get to the next level. I'm flattered by the interest of PSG, but for the moment there's nothing concrete. I will focus on my performance for my club. I've not had contact with PSG and they've not contacted Watford. My goal is to play well for Watford and then maybe join a Champions League team. This winter we'll study all possibilities on a potential offer. The most important thing for me is to continue my progress and with my performances. Staying in England is a possibility, and the Italian league is becoming more interesting. There are clubs who have returned to show interest in me again. The first criteria for me, however, is that the club plays in the Champions League. That is the big thing you want to take away from this, guys, is Abdoulaye Doucouré only wants to move from Watford if he gets an offer from a club in the Champions League or are going to be in the Champions League. Now, the countries he's mentioned are England, Italy and France. Now, you look at England, Liverpool, Manchester City, Spurs and Chelsea, and you look at those four clubs and you think, Liverpool, no, they've got Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, James Milner, they've got a lot of midfield players, they won't be wanting him. Manchester City, likewise, I mean, they're looking for cover for Fernandinho, but Delph can do that role. I don't think that will be a priority. I think the one club you guys have got to be looking out for in England is Spurs. With Moussa Dembele on his way to China, Victor Wanyama, you know, is Abdoulaye Doucouré better than Victor Wanyama? I'd personally say so. They're looking for a top quality central midfielder, and Abdoulaye Doucouré, I think, fits the bill for them. They've shown interest before, and they're going to show interest again, most likely. Chelsea are the other team in fourth at the moment, with Arsenal in 7 points behind in fifth. Chelsea, you know, that I highly doubt they'll go in for him. I think the one club from England that would go in for Abdoulaye Doucouré, who are in the Champions League, are Spurs. Italy, you've got Juventus, speak for themselves, the European giants. Napoli, Inter, Lazio, the current top floor. Milan and Roma follow closely in 5th and 6th. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about Italian football, but if Juventus come calling to partner him alongside Matuidi or Khedira, I don't think Abdoulaye Doucouré would say no. Napoli's midfield is pretty good. I know they've got the likes of Hamsik, Allen, who we've been linked with before. Inter Milan have got an array of talent, the likes of Nainggolan. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It really does depend, I think, where these guys finish in the league. And I think with France, there's only one club that Abdoulaye Doucouré will go for. That is PSG. He's a supporter of the club. He's from the area. As I said, he's a supporter since he was a kid. They've shown interest from the start. They clearly like him. I know he said there's nothing concrete, but they've obviously shown a little bit of interest in him. And I think they are the options for him. It looks like those three leagues are very attractive for Abdoulaye. He's made no qualms about it that he is incredibly interested about a move, and there are clubs who are sniffing around for him. One thing I would say about this, though, is whether it's an attempt by Abdoulaye Doucouré to kind of force through a move. I'm not a massive fan of that. We had a similar case with Richarlison. It doesn't sit well with the fans. And I think with Abdoulaye, he's good enough and he will get a chance of a move. And I don't think we really need to keep coming out in the French press and French media and keep saying, I want to leave, I'm interested in leaving. Because Watford took the punt on him from Rennes. We had an okay spell at Granada. They took the punt on him to come to the Premier League. And of course, it didn't start very well. He was on the verge of leaving, in fact. But to then come in 2017 and really hit the ground running under Walter Mazzarri, then under Marco Silva, we saw the best of him. And now Javi Gracia, he's arguably one of the best central midfielders outside the top six, if not in the league. So I just think he doesn't really need to keep coming out and saying stuff like that. In my opinion, I would have no issues with Abdoulaye Doucouré leaving Watford Football Club. No issues whatsoever. He deserved the move. He deserves the move. He's been at the club for 3 years now. Granted, he didn't start very well, but it's been a fantastic spell for him over the last couple of years since he came into the squad in 2017. So he's had 2 solid years at Watford, and he deserves to move on. He's built up his reputation. He's built up his skills. He's built up interest from other clubs. And what can you say? I think Watford need to look at this and think, you know what? The player wants to move. He's not going to be happy, and we should cash in. I saw a brilliant piece from Sean Walker, Twitter, a big Twitter, got a big Twitter following, Watford fan, and he said Watford need to learn from the Ighalo situation. Now, if you cast your mind back to 2016, Odion Ighalo and Watford received a big sum from Manchester United's Louis van Gaal. For the striker. Now, we turned that down, but we should have accepted it because as soon as that came in, Ighalo's form dropped. And we don't want that to be a similar case with Abdoulaye Doucouré. And the fact is, Watford have the scouting network, we have the replacements to really find a good, suitable replacement for Abdoulaye Doucouré. You look at the moment, we've got Tom Cleverley, Domingos Quina to partner alongside Etienne Capoue. You can even argue Ben Wilmot's a good shout in there as well. You know, there's a lot of options for us. So I just think, from a Watford perspective, if the right money comes in, and I would like between 40 and 50 million pounds for Abdoulaye Doucouré, then let him go. He wants to move, and we can find a replacement. We've already been linked to Adrian Tamazay from Nice. Don't know how good he is, £10 million, but it just shows we're already looking for a replacement. So, interested to see how that one progresses. But as I said, no issues with Abdoulaye wanting to leave. Not a fan, however, of him keep coming out in the French press, stating how he would like to move on from the club. But if we get the right money for him, it seems like he's willing to move in this window or in the summer. I think it's only a matter of time. Let's get your comments down in the comment section below, and your thoughts, down in the comment section below. It's like the Fabian Delph situation, said to Villa. He's going to stay. Next thing you know, he moved to PSG, to Man City. I think it is similar to a degree, but I wouldn't say Abdoulaye Doucouré has done it in such a snaky manner as Fabian Delph did it. 1 minute he was saying, I love Aston Villa. The next minute he's gone to Manchester City. Paul says, if he goes to PSG, good luck to him. His career may stagnate again, but he's been there before with us. 40 million and he's gone. Agreed. Yeah, Suleiman, I think you're right to feel aggrieved that he said it. It's a couple of times out. I'm not a massive fan of it. Ighalo was just on Sky Sports yet. Wouldn't mind taking him back. Yeah, if Doucouré leaves... Chalobah. Sorry, I did forget about Nathaniel Chalobah. He's out for so long. But yeah, it's another good replacement. So there's definitely options there. Now, in terms of... We don't want to kind of dwell on the Doucouré one too much, but we move on to a potential incoming. Now, this has been at the start of this January transfer window. Now, Watford have been linked with a move for a striker, and that is Gregoire Defrel. Fulham, Watford and West Ham United are all interested in the French striker. Sampdoria striker. 2 reports from the Italian press link the same player again for the second time. Both Tuto Sport and Tuto Mercato Web claim that Fulham, Watford and West Ham could be signing the player in January and have been in contact with Sampdoria. Now, it's only paper talk at the moment. It's only a little bit of interest, but I think a potential striker's on the cards. I do think we'll sign a striker in this window. I do think there'll be a big signing in this window. Now, I know someone said in the comment section, Gregoire Defrel, we'll have to see how that one progresses. Nothing concrete at the moment, but I thought I'd mention it. I think one that's definitely being considered is Odin Igalo. Now, he was on Sky Sports News today. He said he wants to move back to the Premier League. I think if you look at the bottom half of the table, most teams will probably take Odin Igalo. I mean, you look at the likes of Cardiff or Fulham. I think they'd take someone like Odin Igalo. And would I take him back at Watford? Yeah, I would. I'd take him back on a 6-month loan deal or a 6-month deal, see how he does, and then maybe sign him up on a long-term contract. But, you know, because he's been out in China so long, you don't know how his form's going to be. I think he did okay there. I think he is now a free agent because the Chinese club said they want to get the 20 million that they pay for him back, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I think Igalo's back in the Watford area as well. If you look at his Instagram, he's back in the Watford area and taking his son for Sunday League at a local club. So he's in the area. Will it happen? I'm not too sure. But Scott, Gino, they like to bring players back who have already been at the club. So I wouldn't put it past them. It would not surprise me if we did bring Odin Igalo back to Vicarage Road. But that's about it for today's transfer news episode. As always, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know what you think of the Doucouré talk saga. I think it's going to carry on throughout this window. It's a big one. And also Gregoire Defrel and Odin Igalo. Let me know what you think of all those 3 players down in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back for another video, another transfer video in the week. Make sure to check out all our post-match content from Palace. Thank you very much for all the nice comments on the vlog. I really enjoyed it. A brilliant day out for Watford fans. And we move on to Burnley this Saturday. Thanks for watching, guys.